On that note, as we are doing this podcast, today is the advent of the iPhone. It was released today, I believe the 29th of June, if the History Channel is right on Today in History. The first iPhone was released, and I say that because I think somehow it's the perfect democratic device, if you can afford it, and yet maybe the downfall of our populism crazy country.
Probably.
Thoughts on that? I mean, I think it's blame for all of our issues. It's blame for education problems, for attention span of a lot of society's problems are blamed on the iPhone, or at least the what do you call it, smartphone, and just walking around with knowing everything.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, it just, it caused a lot of problems. Absolutely, I think we've all heard all this stuff before. We're the most connected society in the world, and loneliness is through the roof, right? People spend all their time, addicted. I struggle with it. I know we all do, where you get a moment of downtime and the first thing you do is you grab your phone and you scroll through, and you're just, it's Neil Postman kind of coming to life. We're amusing ourselves to death. It's just all about entertainment. Yeah. But there's tons of blessings, right? That have come through it. I mean, there's convenience, which is probably the biggest one, but then there is the voice of kind of the people, if you will. There's access to information and stuff that flows way better, obviously, that we all enjoy and just kind of take for granted. It'll be interesting because we're of that generation that we still remember the time without it. But my kids don't. They don't know of any time without like that sort of immediacy of data and information and stuff.
It's got to be a different world you live in with no recollection of that. Yeah. And this is just how you are. And then you see the Russian, what's his face, that, did the mutiny. We hold in our hands devices that are beyond what the government even has, that are used by soldiers and in real wars, that work better. This, and then the access to social media that actually cause better communication quicker, for people. And I think it might very likely be the Ukraine, one of the tools of the Ukraine defense. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know what that means, but that's crazy that we live in that, and we're all on it. So here we are, this guy doing mutiny and causing a revolution, and we're on the same device. I mean, we could probably see the same. In fact, we are, because it's propaganda that we're going to see and put our consent of the governed. So this is how you create it. You put social media posts out so everybody has the same opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is fully related, but I think what ultimately made me delete Twitter, but I think this is true for across social media and really anything you do on your phone, in terms of the connectedness, is when you're looking at something on your phone or on your computer, you have zero ability to, like in the moment that you receive information, sort or vet or anything about the source. And what I mean by that is, like, when I was scrolling, like if I was scrolling through Twitter, every tweet that I saw, my initial reaction to it carried equal importance, whether it was somebody that I knew and deeply trusted, or it was some random Russian bot. But my immediate emotional reaction to it was the same.
Sure.
That's interesting.
And I think that if you were in person with somebody, or if you were like having some sort of personal social interaction, it's just a completely different animal, where it's like, okay, well, if I'm in the grocery store and I'm talking to my wife and some random stranger butts into the conversation and says something, I don't react the same to that person as I do my wife. But online, that's not the case.
Right.
And I think that's a very much a negative.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have. I know it's easy to blame the iPhone because that's the tool that we have in our pocket. And I think if they didn't invent the iPhone, somebody else would have come up with something that does the same exact thing.
BlackBerry.
Right. Yeah. Or Zune or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Zune phone. But yeah, that's I think more of the downfall. Because then that gets into cyberbullying and all that stuff. But I think for me that's the biggest downside or negative or danger to all this.
Yeah. That's what
reaction.
That you take everything comes at you at the same level. Right. So the same, you're valuing it all the same.
Exactly.
It's on the same.
And anybody could do that.
Yeah.
It could be an important voice, and there could be a nobody.
Yeah.
There's that bell.
Wow. Guess we're done talking about that.
All right. Done with that. The iPhone has destroyed all the founders have worked hard for.
That's right.